Yes, we have returned to the alien. The alien threat has returned.
Yes.
But yes, I think today will be the end of this game. Because I think this is the last zone?
For streaming, at least.
Well, I mean, you know, it'll be like 3 or 4 episodes after this, if I'm assuming I'm correct. It's been a long time since I played the game. So my memory of exactly, like, the story is not great. And, like, where it ends. I'm assuming, because we're in, like, DC here, so it's got to be close.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look. How do I farm the DNA? I've already figured it out. Oh, alright, what is it now? Alert level, human... Yeah. I know this stuff. I've seen it. I know. Alright, Paxi. What's we got?
Now that the
Here's the
president is
Washington
dead,
Monument.
the UN senators are voting for a new leader. The vote is agonizingly close.
When the president dies, doesn't the vice president become president?
Just shut up and kill those senators before they get inside the Capitol!
I want that brain.
Somebody, please, anyone.
Yes.
Delicious brains. Oh, more brains. I'll take it.
So I saw the most interesting thing the
Oh,
other
that was
day.
one. Whoops. Yes? What was
A
that?
5-in-1 men's care product. It was like shampoo, body wash, some shave gel, some deodorant, and it was something else. Like, and I'm like, that's a little bit too much.
So wait, hold on. What was it? Like just in general, a hair product thing?
Yes.
I mean, some people really like taking care of their hair. I personally couldn't care less. Like, I mean, I'll do the basics, you know, shampoo and shit, but like, I don't go crazy.
But just the fact that it was deodorant, soap, shampoo, and body wash is soap, but it was like 5 things in one, and I'm like, does it really do things that well when they split it up into things like that?
Well, the other question is, are you getting value out of that too? Like, is there actual value there or no?
Right.
Or is it just like the same price as if you bought all those things together, essentially? Like, is the discount $1? Because, I mean, yeah, you save $1, but is it really worth it for stuff that you're probably almost never going to use?
Yeah, I guess.
I'm just like going on around.
But if it's deodorant, how can it be soap at the same time and be effective soap or body wash?
You know, that's a solid question, because I haven't seen, like, a combination of soap. No, actually, you know what? I lie. I think I have, like, one thing. I remember thinking it was strange, but I do not remember what the brand was at all.
Little green man!
Alright, where's the next one?
You know, Crypto could use some hair, speaking about shampoo.
Nah, man. That would be against Fear on Code, you know? So, actually, here's a good question, being topical with the game. What do you imagine, like, if there were aliens, right? What do you imagine they would look like?
Depends.
Uh-huh.
Like, are we going for more, like, I would assume aliens might be humanoid, but then again, you might get giant space slugs.
I mean, just to be clear, I want to make sure that we're clear on the fact that, like, I'm talking intelligent aliens, not just like, oh, we found like these random beasts out on the street, you know, at another location or something.
Well, I would assume they may be humanoid. Because maybe there's like alternate Earths out there where events are going on, and there's maybe a different yet the same Reckless Mirror Productions going on with like copies of ourselves.
Well, I
like,
mean, now you're talking parallel universe, not aliens.
Right, but yeah, I would say there would be vaguely, if not close to humanoid.
All right, but like, are we like? Do you have any specifics besides just vaguely humanoid?
Like,
What the fuck? What happened to him?
like, what are you getting at? Like,
Do they have fur? Are they scaled? Are they just like naked mole rat looking things with weird skin?
I would say maybe depends on the biome they're from.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Like, what kind of specific type of alien do you imagine there's going to be? Like, you're trying to find a reason to be vague about it.
This isn't a democracy unless I say so.
This is
Unintentionally.
wow.
I would say they would have maybe thicker skin than Earth beings.
Swarming in from everywhere. Let none
Potentially.
pass you. Eliminate them.
Brains and organs relatively the same size as ours.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
They're using the side entrance north of your position.
their planet would have more land than Earth.
With my military unit detectotron. Just take my word for it.
2 eyes, 2 arms, 2 legs.
I mean, you said humanoid. We can kind of assume what the body type
Yeah.
looks like. It's not a four-legged cat or something.
So, but I would say maybe more some weird colored skin. Maybe like some shade of orange or something.
Well, I mean, then here's the other question, and this is one I've always been curious about. Like, whenever we're talking aliens and stuff, people tend to, like, mention, oh, it's got to be, carbon-based life forms, like we are. And my brain's just, like, always thinking, like, what if there's something other than that, you know? Like, what if they're a different, type of life form? You know? Yeah.
Like, I don't know a super lot about elements. But what would be like another basis for?
Well, see, that's what I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that, but I'm not saying I know specifically how it would look or whatever, in the way of like the elements themselves. You're getting way too close, and I don't like it.
Like, would they be metal based?
Well, my thought was like, if you've ever seen you've seen Ben 10 at all, right? Or no?
Yes.
So, remember the pyro-based guy that was like a fire dude? My thought was like, what if they were like something born on like a superheated planet, right? What would they look like? What would they have to be like? They'd have to somehow be able to survive the heat, right?
But isn't fire more energy than matter?
Well, see, I'm not saying that the fire is actually part of their being. It could literally be what they excrete, like as sweat. Like their version of that. Like the fire is cooler than their internal body temperature.
Oh, so they could be more like superheated rocks.
That's what I mean, right?
Soldiers?
Like they're not solids. Like there could be like liquid people, right? Like we're what, 75% water or something like that? What if it's more than that for something else?
Hold them back, Victor! The vote is almost over!
Oh, so what if they're like 50% water?
Yeah, well, yeah. What if they're less? What if they're more? Right? Like, what would they look like in that case?
Huh. Interesting. Like, what are your thoughts when it comes to what aliens look like? Or would look like?
I'm always a fan of the idea of going with a different well, I'm speaking more of design than what I would actually think. But like, generally, I would go with something along the lines of like, I don't know, like some kind of squid monster. Like I'm imagining some place with high gravity, where like your body can't be rigid. If it's rigid, it will just get crushed under the gravity, right? You need to have like a squishy body that will be able to survive the heavy, intense gravity.
You could always be ducks.
I mean, ducks are still pretty solid. I was leaning more toward like, well, like you said earlier, a slug would be a decent one like that. Like nothing with a solid bone structure would be a good way to have that one work out.
Weren't there duck aliens in Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Yes, there were.
And were they British?
I believe one was French, although that one may not have been the alien one.
But Wither reports the voting was
Because it was
inconclusive.
something like quick. I don't think that one was alien, but like the other ones were, and they were like, I think Beatle voices or like parodies of the Beatles. Successful mission, and it's 100%. I'll take my 3,000 DNA. Massacred. Reds blamed for Senator Slaughter.
We shall overcome, says Master Special.
The nation comes, mourns the cowardly massacre. That's a weird sentence. The nation comes, mourns the cowardly massacre of the greatest Americans of all, our senators, those courageous paragons. A mysterious Soviet assassin has been implicated as the instigator of these events. Though the Kremlin has denied any involvement, the loss of so many valuable politicians makes an armed response inevitable. With so many senators gone, each one generous and selfless to a fault, each uniquely irreplaceable in their own right. Honoring their sacrifice by holding elections to replace them as quickly as possible. Irreplaceable in their own right, honoring their sacrifice by holding elections to replace them as quickly as possible. So clearly they're not irreplaceable. They're dime a dozen, really.
Having trouble reading tonight?
It's less that and more that one's really messed up as far as like what it's actually saying. Here's the question. I don't remember if I have everything. I think I have unlocked literally everything.
I think so too. But you saw so you had like one more thing?
Not anymore. Apparently I did it off screen.
Okay.
Shocking developments. Oh boy.
Ooh.
So when do I become the new president?
Or they could always be like the Predator, who has like dreadlocks.
Although I think that the Predator has dreadlocks, but it's not hair. It's like parts of his skull or his skin. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I don't think it's hair.
And like the Na'vi are like 8-foot tall blue rabbit people.
And you, my impulsive friend, are to destroy
I forget
every
what they
Tesla coil
kind
unit
of-
in town. Interesting.
Were they more cat-like? I forget.
In what?
Human operators.
Avatar?
Yes, they
So
were
what do I
cat-like.
do with those?
Okay.
Simple. Each unit must be connected to a nearby
With like
control
super
console.
extended limbs.
Destroy them
Yeah,
all.
they were
I
longer
don't
limbs.
care.
I think they were even double jointed, actually.
So I'm taking out the
Like
Tesla
they had
And,
two
like, they had
joints
that-
for their
consoles.
elbows or something.
Once again, Crypto,
And they
you
had a
have
hair that could like
crystallized the
plug
Manchester
into animals.
Yeah, something weird like that.
Coils on foot. Otherwise, they'll disrupt your saucer. Electric defenses.
Yeah, I'd be really interested when Avatar 2 comes out, if it ever comes out in like 2022, I think it is.
I don't even know if that's going to happen, because from what I've been hearing, James Cameron's going insane with what he wants to do with it. I figured if that was you or Tristan that told me that.
I was telling you that he wanted to do underwater motion capture.
Yep, that was it. It was you. But, like, what he wanted to do was stupidly expensive without a reason. Because they don't have any evidence to prove that what he was claiming about, you know, the motion cap being, like, completely different than, like, what normal people would animate would be. Like, there was no
But
evidence.
he wants as realistic underwater movement as possible, so why not do motion capture underwater?
Because nobody knows whether or not that's accurate. And I mean, like, what would be the legitimate difference between, you know, watching how somebody swims and animating based on watching it versus doing the motion cap? Like, motion cap is going to do what? Hit, like, some of the subtle things that the human eye can't capture at best? Or at least that's the way I would think about it. But it's hard to say. Like, I don't think there's enough of a reason to do it to justify the cost in doing it.
Potentially, because I think one of his biggest complaints was the Aquaman movie and how the swimming in that didn't seem natural.
Well, I mean, you've been doing it for years. And on top of that, like, how is it not natural if you're watching someone swim and animating based on what the swimming motion looks like?
Like, what do you mean by animating?
Well, you're making the character or whatever.
Model?
You're making the character move based on what you're already seeing, right? Animating is the movement.
Right, but is motion capture animating?
Yes, because you apply that motion capture to the character model. And now that thing is moving the exact same way that somebody else is. Well, as the motion capture was captured. That's the point.
Yeah, but I think, like, in Aquaman, there was no motion capture, so I think they were more like swimming in air.
Were they, or was it
get-
animated? Like, was it a 3D model that was animated?
It's killer time.
I am pretty sure they like CG'd all the water in.
So you think they only CG'd the water?
I am like 95% sure.
I mean, that could be. I'm not going to say that it's not possible. But my point would still be, if you're going for animation, which with Avatar, you're working with 3D models, not actual people, right?
Right.
Why would you not just have an animator watch someone swimming and then animate those models based on what he studied in those in that movement?
Throw down, baby.
I can't give a good answer to that. It's James Cameron, man.
Make me sick.
Like, I'm just saying, I'm applying logic here, because there's a reason why you don't want a creative auteur like Cameron, like, who did fucking, Metal Gear? I can't remember the name.
Kojima.
Yeah, like Kojima. You don't usually want them going off the rails with what they want to do, because without restriction, they'll just keep making shit and going insane with money spent. Like, until there's no money
Well,
left.
from what I've heard, the budget of Avatar 2 is around $500 million.
It won't, trust me, that money can go away in the blink of an eye. Depending on what these guys would want to do. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
don't get me wrong, even
just
I
look
would
at
probably
the
go
room.
insane. Like,
Just look at the room. That was $60 million there.
I was gonna say, have you ever heard of the term feature creep?
No?
So, generally what happens with feature creep, and there's a perfectly good example of this if you would really want to look into it, cough cough, it's Star Citizen, cough cough, where people get so enamored with what they're doing that they keep adding shit. Like, in this case, to a game. They just keep going and going and going, and then they run out of money, and then they gotta ask people for more money. Like, you go from having, like, say, well, screw it, let's go with Destroy All Humans. We go with regular Destroy All Humans that's just gonna be a remake of itself with better graphics and stuff, right? To all of a sudden, oh no, we're gonna add in an entire fleet of aliens that you can control in almost like a real-time strategy sense, right? Something that was never in there to begin with, something that needs to be made from the bottom up. You add in a whole multiplayer mode in there, and all of a sudden that's gonna cost a lot more money. Like, you keep adding things that there's no way you're gonna have enough money for.
Hurry and destroy it.
Oh, and speaking about adding things, where was the added content in here?
I think it was Area 51 where we got Crypto 362 or whichever one that one was. I think it was that one, but I could be wrong.
Okay. And did they
But that one had
record all the audio for it?
no, but that one was cut due to time. I think that was mostly probably the level wasn't finished. The audio was probably all done and everything, but the level never got finished for one reason or another. Whether that
Okay,
was just
because you
that,
were
more than
saying
likely it was
that-
just time.
You were saying this is all original audio, and I thought, why make a new level
Just what we need.
if you don't have audio to go with it?
No, they actually said it wasn't a new level. They said it was the one that was cut from the original game. Like, it had been probably partly created, but it never got implemented for one reason or another.
So the cutscene was probably fully voiced.
The cutscene was probably fully voiced. It was probably at least in part done otherwise as well. You know, it was probably like at least part way animated. Or, you know, the other part would have been the level itself. If it wasn't the cutscene. Usually when stuff gets cut, it's either because A, it's not gonna work with the way the mechanics of the game, or say like the I don't know. It either won't work with the mechanics of the game, the engine's not going to be able to run it as smoothly as they had been hoping, or something along the lines of just like time. Dark Souls, which we never got to the end of, unfortunately, at least as of this recording or stream or whatever, what have you.
Destroy these primitive human defenses, Crypto.
We never got to this point, but there are plenty in like the last couple levels that you can tell they ran out of time. And they even admit they ran out of time when asked about it. where basically what ended up happening was like there was no time. We added in a bunch of like extra like they dragged and dropped enemies in there that didn't make any sense. Like in the one zone, I've mentioned this before, I think, but there are dragon asses, just straight up like the lower half of a dragon, just in places that make no sense for them to be at all. Oh, I'm at the White House.
So you're fighting a dragon ass as an enemy.
Yes, as in the dragon had its stomach torn in half, and it's literally that back half of the dragon.
That's attacking.
Yes.
That kind of sounds ridiculous.
Yes, it is, and it makes no sense for the zone at all. Like you're in what is supposed to be called like the demon ruins. Why is there a dragon ass down here?
Huh.
You scattered them like roaches.
That that's just super weird.
Yes, which is why most people agree, and as far as I'm aware, From Software confirmed this, they did not have enough time to finish those areas. Like, everything was modeled and ready to go, they didn't have enough time to finish the enemies that were intended to go there. There was also one of the boss fights in there got replaced. Like, they had a whole moveset for the guy, he was ready to go, and then they decided, you know what, this doesn't work as well for the story, in that one's case. We're going to replace it with something else. Electrifying explosions destroy new power substations.
Rolling blackouts expected. City struggles to cope.
A new power plant built to supply electricity to nearby rolling pin factory has exploded. The communist sabotage was grudgingly ruled out on the. Okay, maybe I am having trouble with my speech today. I don't know. Communist sabotage was grudgingly ruled out on this occasion, with local authorities insisting the incident was caused by a wayward starling flying into the overhead power pylons, causing a chain reaction that leveled the whole facility. Safety fears have been downplayed by authorities, who are encouraging the public to look on the bright side at the volumization of residents' hair due to residual static electricity. Styling tips on page 2.
Always look on the bright side of life.
Hey, there's one I didn't notice before. Up in the corner. Best price at Walford's department store. Wonder what that's referencing.
Huh. Always look on the bright side of life.
Well, I mean, I feel like it should be death in this case.
Next time we will... Is it 50-foot president?
Yes.
Wow.